Welcome, my name is Andrea Moon and I am a district literacy coach. I created this video as a resource to help you in designing and organizing your kindergarten classroom for instruction. Along the way, you will hear from kindergarten teachers who will be sharing their expertise on how they set up different areas in their classroom. A resource folder accompanies this presentation. You may want to download the questions so that you may stop and reflect along the way about how you will create an environment that is student-centered and conducive to learning. This presentation will also help address standards 7 and 8 of the COV Keys for teacher effectiveness. Just remember, classroom space impacts everything from instruction to classroom behavior and your sense of well-being. You'll want to create a well-organized classroom that provides student ownership. Whether you are a veteran teacher who has changed rooms or schools, or a new teacher designing your first classroom, you will want to begin thinking about how you will plan for the space that matches the way you want to teach. Mapping out your room is a good way to begin to think about how you plan your instructional day. Debbie Diller in her book Spaces and Places suggests starting with your whole group area, then your classroom library, a place for small group teaching, independent spaces, and then your classroom walls. There are some great mapping tools available online through Scholastic or Lakeshore, or you can create your own with a file folder or 12 by 18 inch piece of construction paper and a few sticky notes. When designing space for whole group, think about the space and what materials you will need. Many teachers place their whole group area near the interactive whiteboard along with an easel and document camera. Some other essentials to include are a large rug or carpet, chart paper, pointers, name chart with pictures of students, and white correction tape. When designing your space for small group instruction, many teachers place their table where they can see the rest of their students. This area can be used for small group reading, writing, and math instruction. Some things are essential, such as a table, which can be kidney-shaped, rectangular, or 2 hexagon tables placed together. Consider placing shelves or clear plastic drawer units for small group reading materials, such as guided reading books and writing utensils, behind the table or nearby, as well as small whiteboards and magnetic letters. You'll want to create an inviting classroom library that promotes independent reading and allows students to self-select books. Let's listen in as Clara Farrell talks about how she organizes her classroom library. Tell us how you organized your classroom library.
I have my classroom library organized by, first off, the A through Fs are leveled books. And then the other ones are just theme-based. And I've done it so many different ways, but this seems to be the way that it works best for me. On the back of every book is a number, and as you can see underneath all the books is a number, so the children know where to put the book back after they have read their book.
It is important for children each day to have time for independent reading, even at an early age. This enables the children to practice reading strategies and build stamina. Each student has their own browsing box or bag that contains books that are familiar to them. In kindergarten, these books could include poems and books that were shared during shared reading and during read-alouds. Teachers usually set up their stations around the perimeter of the room. If space is of the essence, then you may want to consider placing your workstation materials in tubs that can easily be moved to tables and then returned at the end of the work time. A management board is helpful so students know where to go. If your kindergarten classroom has a home living center, blocks, or Lego tables, with proper modeling and expectations set at these stations, they can be very useful in the development of students' oral language and also meet the speaking and listening standards where children can participate in collaborative conversations about kindergarten topics and learn to speak audibly and express thoughts, feelings, and ideas clearly with their peers. Next, you will want to consider areas to store math manipulatives, display a hundreds chart, and interactive number line and standards of mathematical practice. Student work areas should be a place that encourages collaboration and where students can practice strategies learned. A place for materials that is shared or in individual pencil boxes is also necessary. In designing your wall space, you'll want to think about the message you want your walls to convey. While it may be a challenge to have blank walls when the school year begins, if you have everything up on the walls, it sends the message to your incoming students that the classroom is yours and not theirs too. Also consider keeping your color scheme to 2 to 3 colors. Any more will create visual clutter. Consider wall space for learning targets and standards, displaying readers workshop, writers workshop, and content area anchor charts, and for displaying student work. Another essential wall space is for your word wall. The word wall will serve as an important resource for your students will use during reading and writing. The word wall should start off blank at the beginning of the year. Have alphabet cards with uppercase and lowercase letters as well as a picture card next to each letter, and be low enough for students to be able to remove words that will be taught and added with the students during the school year. Now let's listen in on how Julie Carney uses her sight word and word walls for instruction. Besides the sight words, you also have a word wall.
Yes, we've come up with some words over the years that they use frequently in their writing, and so we've tried to come up with picture icons and that they use, and they use it. They figure out pretty quick, like how to find the letter, the beginning sound, and then find the word underneath that letter.
And you attribute that to the picture icons as well. And that's
Absolutely.
important in kindergarten to have pictures that go with
Yes.
the words you're studying too. Other wall spaces to consider may include class rules, class schedule, transportation chart, morning procedures, and job responsibilities. For further information, please refer to Designing Classrooms for Literacy, Spaces and Places by Debbie Diller, published by Stenhouse. Thank you to the kindergarten teachers at Compton Elementary, McCall Primary, and Sanders Elementary. A special thank you to kindergarten teachers Julie Carney and Claire Farrell at Austell Elementary. Have a great school year.